This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Mental health is real, seek help, and the stigma on the news this afternoon. Dispute erupts over Rivers local government election figures. FCT Minister Wike Camp gives conditions for PDP convention to hold. FAN launches probe as Enugu Air deboards passenger. Federal government declares public holiday on the foreign scene. Russian President Putin, North Korean counterpart Kim, and China for huge military parade. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, a disagreement has emerged over the figures released by the Rivers State Independent Election Commission, RISIEC, in the general election. A public address and Ijoma Obi said the total of over 1.5 million votes announced by RISIEC does not reflect what actually happened on Saturday. Mr. Obi, in an interview with correspondent Yobioroware, alleged the
observed from the polling were scarcely voters present. Fortunately, we saw RISEC rolling out numbers, even more than the voter turnout of 2023. Observers recorded low voter turnout in several of the polling units. And same RISEC is coming out to give us figures that are manufactured from nowhere.
Obi further argued that the 3 local government areas won by the PDP show that the FCT Minister Wike has positioned himself politically to be in control during the 2027 general elections, even though the APC won 20 local government area seats.
This in the arrangement of giving 20 LGAs to APC and 3 LGAs to PDP is strategic, and it's for 2027. It's a calculated strategy to misinform the people. Like I said, this is coming from the same political family. Within them, there are no PDP or APC. Their plans is to hold both APC and PDP to ransom and to ensure that there is no viable opposition in the state.
But an APC stakeholder in Ikwere local government area, Achinike Williams Wobodo, disagreed. Now, he said the results released by RISIEC truly represent the votes cast during Saturday's local government election.
Actual number of persons who came out for the election. Elections were conducted polling unit by polling unit. We were in the collation center. We saw all this. So the numbers that RISEC released are the number of people that turned out for the election. The irony of it is that in one breath, some people are saying, oh, there was low turnout. In another breath, some people are saying, oh, the result that came was high. So you see the level of inconsistency that has bedeviled our polity in this state.
Mr. Williams Wobodo added that the turnout of voters proved that the people really wanted a democratic structure at the grassroots. Now, while the debate over the credibility of election figures rages in Rivers State, fresh tension is also building within the PDP ahead of its national convention. The elective convention is set for November 15 in Ibadan, Oyo State. To ensure a smooth and valid convention, the camp of FCT Minister Wike has given the party's national leadership 6 conditions. These include fresh congresses in Ebonyi and Anambra State in line with existing court judgment, a new Southeast Zonal Congress to be conducted urgently, and respect for the South-South Congress in Calabar, which the courts have already upheld. Other demands are that the PDP must immediately conduct the Ekiti local government congresses as directed by the court. There should be no micro-zoning of offices, and the national chairmanship must remain in the North Central. Away from that, former aviation minister Hadi Sirika has distanced himself from the opposition coalition against the re-election of President Bola Tinubu in 2027. Sirika, a 2-term minister under former President Muhammadu Buhari's government, issued the rebuttal in an interview on Channels on Channels Television. Since leaving office in 2023, the former minister is currently facing trial for alleged corruption and abuse of office. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, accused him of awarding multi-billion naira contracts to companies owned by his family members, including his daughter, Fatima Sirika, and son-in-law, Jalal Hama. But when asked if his visit to the presidential villa was to get a soft landing, the former minister said the case was still pending in court. Now to governance, President Bola Tinubu has announced that Nigeria is not borrowing locally and has met its revenue target for the year. Tinubu said this during a reception for members of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, led by former Nasarawa State Governor Tanko Al-Makura. The president attributed this to the increase in non-oil revenue and reforms by his administration, which took over the helm of affairs in May 2023.
We know the direction that we should go. We are going up. Today I'm standing before you. I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. We have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. Non-oil. If non-oil revenue is going well, then we have no fear of whatever Trump is doing. And
President Tinubu said the federal government will establish agricultural mechanization centers in all regions of the country to build capacity, expand cultivation and harvest, and guarantee food sovereignty.
I've just signed off on a huge mechanization program that every region we have a mechanized center for agricultural mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty.
And shifting from politics to the environment, the monthly sanitation exercise in River State will be held this Saturday. River State Waste Management Agency, Ruwama, made this known. Recall the exercise was moved because of the August 30th local government elections in the state. Ruwama Chairman Board, Mr. Wanosike, in an interview said Ruwama will undertake cleaning exercise in any business premises or compound found dirty with a cost charged to the owners. He had also announced a restriction of movement during the exercise. However, not everyone is pleased with Ruwama's sanitation directives. A legal practitioner, Chizi Enyi, has faulted the directive of the new management board restricting human and vehicular movement during the monthly sanitation exercise in River State. In an interview, Enyi said the move amounts to a violation of citizens' fundamental human rights, especially as both the High Court and the Court of Appeal had already ruled against such restrictions. He further questioned the legal authority of Ruwama to issue movement passes even to those on essential duties.
On issue of sanitation exercise, there ought not to be restrictions. You can't restrict people's movement. That is it. Apart from the fact that there is a law not restricting people's movement, there is also judicial interpretation as to that. The High Court has given judgment and it was also affirmed by the Court of Appeal. What is the reason to restrict people's movement? Even when you know that others who have done it, damages were paid to those who went to court on that issue.
While another legal practitioner, Ndamzi Ekwula, also faulted the restriction, describing it as unconstitutional and illegal. He said Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court has already declared such restrictions unlawful.
The Rewama Act 2014 can be superior to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Federal High Court, in the case of Barrister Prince Azubike against the Attorney General of Rivers State, Rewama, and Commissioner of Police, Rivers State, Justice Omotosho held that restriction of movement in Rivers State on the last Saturday of every month under the guise of environmental sanitation exercise is illegal, unconstitutional. So we should be guided in whatever we are doing.
Still to come, federal government declares public holiday. Stay with us.
On behalf of the Council of Chiefs, CDCs, Elders, Women, Youth, and the entire people of Samanga Town, I, His Royal Highness Chief-Elect Pastor Isaiah Gogo Kings Ikoli Okama Samanga Town, joyfully congratulate Honorable Promise Lucky Otu and his deputy, Honorable Mrs. Rachel Ezekiel Abigbani, on your resounding victory in the just concluded local government elections. We also congratulate our son, Honorable Amini Thomas George, on your re-election as Councillor Samanga Ward 8. Your victory reflects the confidence of the people in your ability to serve with honesty, courage, and dedication. May God grant you wisdom to steer and on it to greater heights of peace, progress, and prosperity. Samanga community reaffirms its continued support and prayers. Once again, congratulations, Honorable Promise Lucky Otuo. This is signed by His Royal Highness Chief Pastor Isaiah Gugu Kings Ikoli Okama Samanga Town.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. President Bola Tinubu has ordered an immediate review of security operations in Katsina State. He promised to strengthen the fight against banditry using advanced military equipment and surveillance tools. The president made the remarks on Tuesday at the State House in Abuja while receiving a delegation of eminent citizens from Katsina led by Governor Diko Rada. Tinubu said the country's security challenges can be overcome. He also assured that the federal government is considering establishing state police and upgrading forest guards to improve security at the grassroots level. And now the FCT Minister Nsomwike has approved and imposed a 5 million naira fine payable within 30 days for allottees and land title holders who have contravened the Land Use Act in the Federal Capital Territory. The minister also assented to a 7.5% charge on the assessment of properties converted without the knowledge or express permission of the FCT administration, payable within 30 days. Wike gave the approval after receiving the report of the committee set up to address the abuse of the Land Use Act in the FCT in his office on Tuesday. Meanwhile, in the judiciary, a landmark ruling has reshaped the rules governing service in the Nigerian Armed Forces. The National Industrial Court in Abuja has struck down a rule that required Nigerian Armed Forces officers to serve at least 15 years before resigning. Justice Emmanuel Subilim delivered the judgment on Tuesday in a suit filed by Flight Lieutenant J.A. Akirile. He described the rule as oppressive and a serious violation of fundamental rights guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution as amended. Akirile, commissioned as a pilot officer in 2013 during former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, challenged the Nigeria Air Force's refusal to accept his resignation. And in the aviation sector, another controversy is unfolding after a viral video showed a passenger being forcefully removed from an Enugu air flight after he allegedly refused to switch off his mobile phone. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN says it has launched an investigation into the incident involving a passenger and Enugu Air. Speaking in an interview, Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at the FAN, Obiageli Ora, said investigations were ongoing, but preliminary findings indicated that the incident occurred after the passenger declined to comply with safety instructions. The FAN spokesperson said the flight, which was scheduled to depart Enugu for Lagos, could not proceed until the unruly passenger was removed. Well, away from aviation matters, the federal government has declared Friday a public holiday to mark Eid al-Mawlid, the celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. This was disclosed in a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, on behalf of the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. Ajani congratulated Muslims across the country and in the diaspora on the occasion, urging them to emulate the Prophet's virtues of peace, love, humility, tolerance, and compassion. She also encouraged Nigerians of all faiths to use the celebration to pray for peace, security, and stability in the country. And now we go over to business. The Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, has clarified that the federal government does not subsidize compressed natural gas, CNG. following recent pump price increases by some operators.